So a lot of people can generate as many smart contracts as you want, and you can
Welcome to Dragonchain Newsflash. I'm Danny Ledke. Now let's get started with this week's news update. Steve Wozniak co-founds blockchain-based energy savings firm in Malta. Steve Wozniak, co-founder of American tech giant Apple, has invested in a new blockchain-based company headquartered in Malta. Now the co-founder of energy efficiency company eForce, with its stated goal to be recognized as the first and main platform in the world for tokenized energy saving. Wozniak spoke about how he thinks blockchain will be a great boon to decreasing the public's environmental impact without requiring people to change their habits. Wozniak also spoke about the local government's pro-blockchain attitude as a key to eForce's decision to launch in Malta. In US news, regulation chokes innovation. Mercedes' parent firm is building a crypto hardware wallet for cars. Daimler, the German multinational corporation behind Mercedes-Benz brand, partnered with European startup Riddle & Code to provide an open car hardware wallet solution, announced in a press release. Per the release, car wallets have a wide variety of use cases such as car sharing, autonomous vehicle, exchange of secure traffic data, and other uses. The wallet in question is reportedly built around the startup's own secure data storage solution, allegedly, and provides a secure blockchain-based identity for vehicles. According to the release, merging this kind of identity with state-issued vehicle identity, registration, would enable unique and secure ledger transaction. This brings a whole new meaning to losing your keys. Following Facebook testimony last week, DOJ opens broad new antitrust review of big tech. The department's antitrust division, which is responsible for reviewing and enforcing issues related to monopolies and competition, said its review would consider the widespread concerns expressed about search, social media, and other online services. The DOJ didn't name names, but the list of market-leading online platforms accused of stifling competition through dishonest tactics may include Facebook, Google, and Twitter. This news highlights the indecision in America as to who we despise more, Facebook or politicians. And in crypto Twitter news, only 47 days till Funface deletes his account. And only 538 days until McAfee deletes something else. In other news, Justin Sun risks hard labor in China to avoid lunch with Warren Buffett. In Dragonchain news, just 7 days until the corporate rebrand is released. For all the latest Dragonchain company news updates and everything Dragonchain, be sure to follow Bully on Twitter. And that's this week's update.
G'day wherever in the world you are. Welcome to another Super Happy Dragon Lucky. This week, I'm back in London at the RSA, the Royal Society for the Encouragement of Arts, Manufacturers and Commerce. Some of you have been asking what Order of the Dragons Fellowship is all about and how to get in. Thanks to our devoted core Dragon team community members from around the globe, hailing from Kansas City, Nashville, San Jose, Philadelphia, New York City, Seoul, London, Cardiff, The Hague, Singapore, too many to mention. Order of the Dragons Fellowship was inspired and evolved from this core community. We also took inspiration from one of the oldest surviving fellowships in the world, the RSA. It was started 260 years ago here in London. The past members are a roll call of great thinkers, innovators, and social reformers. You name it, Stephen Hawkins to Tim Berners-Lee, the inventor of the World Wide Web. The objective of the fellowship is for those who want to change the world with blockchain to do so from wherever in the world they are. Fellows will be innovators, early adopters, and mavens within their communities. Over the past decades, we've seen software eating up the world. Blockchain is here to change the world. This is more than a movement, it is a planet-wide revolution. All it takes is mindshare. With this knowledge, we can change every aspect of our world. With the shift from our dependency on oil to data, blockchain will play a significant role in the evolution of its technology predecessors. It is an opportunity for us to level the playing field and give power back to the people. Everyone should own their own identity and data. The fellowship, at its heart, will be a think tank. The Brains Trust will allow us to find consensus on how best to prioritize and deploy our most valuable asset, time. What can you look forward to as an Order of Dragons Fellow? Meet like-minded people around the world in amazing places like here at the RSA. Grants to turn your ideas into reality. We'll provide you with training and a toolkit to host your own meetups in your city. You'll also be given the opportunity to blitzscale products as they come out of our labs and into the real world. Fellows will also get access to our cutting-edge research and development before they're released to the general public. You'll be able to help with the design, architect, and engineering of products and systems that will radically change the world. Now that the telcos and the tech giants have laid down the foundation, it's now your turn. As you can imagine, we want to devote as much time to the founding fellows as much as possible. So we are adopting the tried and tested model of the RSA that has kept it thriving over the last 260 years, which is an invitation model. We invite great thinkers, innovators, visionaries, social reformers to join the fellowship so that we together can rebuild the world in a more sustainable and equitable manner. We look forward to meeting, conversing, and taking action, whether it be here at the RSA in London, or in Singapore at 1880, or our headquarters in Bellevue. You'll find the right people in the right places. Over the coming weeks and months, we'll endeavor to share stories from fellows around the world taking action to disenslave us and give power back to the people. We'll share these conversations and what it means to create a new operating system for our planet. Thank you for tuning in. I look forward to sharing more on the next episode of Super Happy Dragon Lucky.
Hi, I'm Adam Crowder. I'm a software engineer here at Dragonchain, and today I'm going to be showing a demo of how we can use Dragonchain's cron scheduling feature to automatically invoke a smart contract to contact an oracle and selectively ledger data on a chain. Traditionally, with other blockchain solutions, having an oracle put data onto the chain is either tedious or complicated, but with Dragonchain, it's essentially built right in. So let's go ahead and jump in here and take a look. So for this demo, we're just going to be using an open weather API to grab the weather in Seattle here. Now, if in the real contract, this could be any endpoint you want. This could be a self-controlled JSON endpoint or really anything. We're just using this weather as an example here. And let's say with this weather, we want to selectively take a snapshot of this weather and ledger it to the chain depending on the humidity. So we can see that this gives us a humidity percentage here. So let's go ahead and make a quick little shell script for this. So first we need to grab the weather here with that HTTP call. And now let's selectively get the weather. We're going to pipe it into JQ, which will let us grab just the humidity from this. And let's say if that weather is less than 50%, then we want to output the weather. Now, Dragonchain smart contracts just use standard in for input and standard out for output. So a simple echo here will act as output for our smart contract. And let's say if our threshold isn't met, then let's go ahead and echo out some JSON with this reserved output to chain key here. Now, what this key does is if a contract runs and the chain sees JSON with this output to chain set to false, then nothing will get ledgered to the chain, no transaction will be created. That way we don't have to clutter down the chain with unnecessary data that we don't want. So that's really it. So let's go ahead and run that shell script. And we can see the humidity is actually over 50% right now, so we just get output to chain false. In a contract, this would essentially be a no op, but if we go ahead and edit that and change it so that it's outputs if it's greater than 50% and rerun that contract, we can see now we get a snapshot of that weather that we grabbed from the API. So to put this into a smart contract on Dragonchain, we just need to put this into a Docker container. So that's real simple. We're just going to go ahead and create a Docker file. Now we're just going to base this on Alpine Linux, a nice small Docker container that can run our shell script. And we're going to need to make sure that we have curl and JQ installed in this because we use that in the script, and then copy the actual shell script itself. Okay, so that's really all we need for that Docker file. Now we can go ahead and build that. So a simple Docker build. Give it a tag. And our Docker container is now built. Now we just need to push this up to the cloud. So in this case, I'm just going to push it to Docker Hub, and then our chain will be able to grab it. Okay, so our container is now up in the cloud. We can make sure that our container actually works by running it real quick. And we just need to tell it to run our shell script. And we can see we do still get the same output. So now all we have to do is add this to the chain. So I've already got a level 1 chain up and running. And if I use our command line tool, dctl, and check the status, we can see my chain is running. So now we can just use it to add that contract. So let's go ahead and do dctl contract create. We'll give this a name. So we'll just name it demo oracle. And that Docker container that we just pushed up. And then the command that we wanted to run is shell, and then with the argument of our contract itself. And now we can add this optional taxc flag, which allows us to put in any cron expression here. Now, the chain, when adding this contract, will automatically invoke this contract according to the cron expression schedule. So this allows us to let the chain automatically check back in on the oracle for us. So in this case, we're just going to do a real simple cron expression, just 5 stars, which just means invoke every minute on the minute. But this could really be any cron expression that you want. So we're going to go ahead and do that. And now we can see that our contract is creating on this chain. So if we go ahead and copy that ID, we can actually do a contract get and make sure that it's up. And we can see that our contract has actually already been created and gone into creation success. So now when the minute rolls over, we're going to go ahead and see that it has created a transaction. So let's go ahead and write that query to be able to pull this transaction. So again, we're going to use dctl transaction query. We're going to pass in the Q flag so that we can do a Lucene query. And we just want to check for demo Oracle transactions. So the minute hasn't rolled over yet, so if we do this query, we can see there are no results yet. But if we just give it a couple seconds here, it's about to go over. Now we do this query again, and we can see that our transaction has actually already been created. So the minute rolled over, humidity was over 50%, and so we can see that this transaction was created, and it does indeed have the payload, which is the snapshot of the weather. Now, this has also been included in a block, so we can go ahead and copy the block ID and use DCTL to get that, and we can see, yep, this has been put into a block, which means this is going to be going through DragonNet as we speak, and that'll be pinning its state in the network, and then eventually getting to level 5s and even pinning this state on public blockchains as well. So with that, we can use this query, because everything's JSON, use something like JQ to pull out individual results. So a query like this will let us always pull the latest result where the weather was pinned from our contract, and really anything else that you'd want to do. So that's really it. That's how simple it is to have a chain Oracle data for you. And yeah, good luck and happy coding.
We live?
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for watching today. We're going to start real quick so we can ask a question for the giveaway before the delay processes. So the question, and first person to answer is the winner, is from the show. How many days until our friend Funface deletes its Twitter account? All right. And we want that in the form of a prepositional phrase, right? Now we can just talk for a minute while everyone tries to answer that. Danny's here with me today, and what do you think, Danny?
Awesome. Well, you know, Adam did that great demo of the oracles, and maybe, is it Oracle the database company, or explain to me what
There
this
is,
Oracle thing is?
yeah, there's not a partnership with Oracle, the database company, right now. So, no, it's Oracle, as in blockchain Oracle, which is, how do I say this? Normally, where if I have a smart contract on chain and I need real world data, I need weather data, like in the demo, I need we have geospatial data. I need something that's happening in the real world. There's no way typically for my smart contract, let's say on Ethereum, to get that data. So you have to have, and there are a lot of projects out there to do really good job of decentralizing the gathering of that Oracle data, that type of thing. But it's usually something that's off-chain. You have to write separate, and you have to figure out how to trust it, right? Mm-hmm. And it could be because you trust your own data if it's your smart contract, but if it's a decentralized system, that doesn't work so well. So the interesting thing was even way back in the architecture, we put together the ability to have a timed smart contract. So it's if you know anything, Linux or Unix, cron is a system, a daemon that basically runs, and you can specify, I want this to run every Wednesday at 3 o'clock. I want it to run on the 5th day of the month. Various things like that. And anything that you set to do that, it'll just run. And that's how Unix and Linux systems process stuff a lot of times. And we put that on blockchain. So anything you could code into a smart contract, you can use as an Oracle. In this case, we showed it for a smart contract on Dragonchain, but we will have later demos where we show you providing the ability to Oracle to smart contracts on Ethereum or other chains.
So what's kind of the bigger vision of oracles, and how does that tie into Dragonchain?
It's not something we've focused on a lot because it's very simple in our system, but we're starting to see cases where it makes a lot of sense, where you'll need something that's running regularly, And you can put that on chain. You can make it all tracked and deterministic, and you can get data to other chains or to your code. So, bigger picture is just flexibility. But
So what do you mean by deterministic?
The smart contract itself is on chain, so it's just like any other smart contract where you can go back in time and see how something would have been processed, or you can verify that it was processed properly with both the transaction data and the smart contract on chain.
Oh, that's really interesting.
Yeah.
Sang had talked about the fellowship. What's going on with the fellowship? What is it?
We've been wanting to announce that for a while, and we've had to hold off because we've been too busy with everything else. But basically, we set it up for a while ago with the academy, where we needed feedback and we needed people to be early testers, beta testers and everything else. And we let them come into a group, and it was central on Telegram, where everybody was known to have an NDA, so they could see stuff earlier, and we could basically get a really good set of beta testers that were all committed to actually contributing. And we have expanded that into a fellowship where there will be a number of benefits to start, and then we're going to keep adding benefits. And Cian modeled it after the RSA, which is in London, and he described it really well. That how do I say, one way or another, it's an invite only, and there's a selection criteria, and inside of it, there's the ability to join the early access for creators and contributors. That if you have social, you can basically help us communicate what's going on in a better way than we can do by ourselves. And so we're adding that. You have the ability to have a floating desk if you're in town, in Seattle, in Bellevue, or I believe in Singapore and London, and in South Carolina. So, and there are a lot of other things we're going to be adding, and it's really interesting.
Nice. How are we doing with the drawing?
Do we have an answer?
Yes.
Yes.
So
J Dragon.
he answered it right, and he was the first one.
Okay, J Dragon answered it right. Was the first one. Was it a prepositional phrase? That was a joke. So that doesn't matter. Okay. So J Dragon. So now, wait, where are we here? Show that we have. So Danny has the giveaway. There are you could dump them first. Make sure they see there are 3, and it's the same thing as before.
Yahtzee.
Pattern. And it's a T-shirt or mug, your choice, or 2,500 dragons or 5,000 dragons. And they did ask me to make sure everybody knows that it's there's a delay to get the whatever it is you have manufactured and shipped. So we do allow for that. All right, we go ahead and draw.
Let's draw.
All right, and no sleight of hand. Jeez, mug or T-shirt.
Mug or T-shirt.
So, here, pull out the others, make sure they know. And, okay, so next week, tell me if I'm missing anything also, but big rebrand announcement for the 2,500. And I would suggest to tune in for that. Some pretty cool stuff there, 5,000 Dragon. And the prize next week, and there's a participation part, and there's a question part as well. Win up to a Bitcoin worth of dragons, and you'll have to be there live to get them, and you will have to confirm yourself and everything else. But it's a good prize next week because it's bigger news, and also new limited edition merch coming. I think later today probably. I'm not sure which it is, but a bunch of cool stuff coming.
Neat.
What else do we need? Is there anything else? Is that it?
I think that's it.
That's it. All right. So signing off. Thanks a bunch.
Thank you. Be sure to follow Funface.
Yes, follow Funface while you can.